we have major updates over the stimulus bills. We got Chuck Schumer, who's the leader of the Senate, says that Democrats want a deal this week on the economic plan. We're talking about the $1 trillion bill. We have President Biden, who has lowered the spending bill target from $3.5 trillion between $1.75 and $1.9 trillion. If you are looking for some stimulus checks or an ongoing stimulus being sent to you, there are still provisions in the bill, even though it's been lowered, for you to get something in 2022. We're talking about adults, seniors, and children. We'll get into those details in just a moment. But Biden is meeting with the Democrats and progressives to get this deal passed as fast as possible and secure his economic agenda. We've got Joe Manchin, who is setting strict provisions on the child tax credit and the monthly checks that parents have been receiving with income limits and work stipulations. Biden has removed free community college from the reconciliation bill, and a lot of citizens are concerned with inflation, and the San Francisco Fed paper finds that Biden's stimulus plans are fueling a short-term inflation. And I do have a chart to clearly show you how much money you can expect to see next year per month based upon your group if you are on Social Security, whether you're retired, disabled, or a couple. And I just want to say thank you for being awesome, smashing that like button for me and the YouTube algorithm. It helps out a ton, and I really appreciate it. And please, if anyone asks you for personal info or to contact them on WhatsApp or by text, it's not me, it's fake. Please don't do it. There's a lot of people getting scammed, and I don't want you to be one of them. So we now have some new dollar figures on what Biden wants the total cost of his $1 trillion reconciliation bill to cost. That is between $1.75 and $1.9 trillion. Now I know it's down a bit from $3.5 trillion, but we're still talking about trillions of dollars that we're about to spend as a nation. So Biden has privately informed Democrat lawmakers he is optimistic that they can reach an agreement on the social spending plan that's been capped essentially at $1.9 trillion. So the plan is still going to include universal pre-K, a substantial investment into green energy and climate change. Yes, an expansion of Medicare benefits is still on the table, and now there will still be money for affordable public housing, as well as reduced paid leave and the monthly child tax credit extensions that parents have been receiving as monthly check payments these past few months. Now, a lot of people are wondering if more checks will be sent out and to who. So for seniors, yes, there's still legislation in the works to send you an extra check for the extra cost for the Medicare benefits, or in other words, they want to send a debit card to cover for dental, hearing, and vision costs next year, on top of the huge cost of living adjustment that's coming to the Social Security program for 2022. For the kids, well, parents will still be receiving those monthly checks, and it will be reduced by 1 to 2 years. So instead of it going to 2025, it's more than likely going to be 2023 for sure, or 2024. But also there's going to be more rules as to who gets it and what you have to do to receive it. So one thing that is concerning though for Americans is the inflation problem. And there are still 1/4 of all the jobs that were lost because of COVID that are still lost. So according to the Labor Department, roughly 6 million Americans who want to be employed were not actively looking for work last month. There's another 2.7 million Americans who are considered to be long-term unemployed. Big issues with unemployment. So people want stimulus, but it does have adverse effects on the economy and inflation. I mean, people are still feeling it when they go to put gas, when they go to buy milk, when they go to buy groceries. It's across the board. And I understand the need for wanting to increase the social programs, add more money to them, but it does have side effects. And that's what we're trying to deal with now. especially for those on a fixed income. But a lot of seniors are wondering, what am I going to receive next year in 2022 when it comes to my checks? So in this chart, if you're on Social Security, you can see that for all retired workers, you're going to be going from $1,565 a month to $1,657. If you're an aged couple receiving benefits, you'll go from $2,599 to $2,753. For a widowed mother and 2 children, you would go from $3,009 to $3,187. If you're an aged widow that's alone, you would go from $1,467 to $1,553. And if you're a disabled worker with a spouse with 1 or more children, you'll go from $2,250 to $2,383. And lastly, all disabled workers will go from $1,282 to $1,358. So this is straight from the Social Security Administration. So that takes care of our seniors and them seeing their cost increase. But a lot of people are starting to wonder what's going to happen with the child tax credit and the new provisions that they're looking to put in place coming from the Democrat Senator Joe Manchin. So Manchin, who is the moderate Democrat, is negotiating heavily on these trillion-dollar bills. And he wants there to be some provisions to the child tax credit or the monthly checks parents have been receiving for their kids. Manchin said that he wants there to be work requirements for the credit. He has also indicated he thinks there should be means testing to lower the income limits for who receives the expanded child tax credit. So if you are not working, you would not be eligible for the monthly checks for the child tax credit. Manchin also told the White House that he wants to lower the income limit for families to $60,000 and below of who would be receiving these extra checks. This would be targeted towards the lower income families, so the entire household has to make under $60,000 a year in order to receive those additional funds from the child tax credit. Now, a lot of progressive Democrats are arguing that this would cut out a large portion of the middle class families that would be receiving this credit and not be as effective if it was lowered. So dealing with that, Manchin is trying to lower the cost of the bill but still be able to give out and reward those based upon what he feels. Now, a large focal point of this bill, though, is climate change. And I would like to know how many of you think this should be a priority at this time. We just went through the pandemic, and we're still going through it somewhat, and millions of people, their families, their children, were affected in a negative way. Thousands of businesses were affected in a negative way, and with that, a good portion of this bill, hundreds of billions of dollars, is geared towards climate change. So, not getting kids more monthly checks or more for our seniors on their Social Security or even an extra stimulus check for everyone that a lot of people want right now, which, by the way, it does help out the economy quite a bit, but it is something that they want to do is fight the climate. Now, this is something that needs to be addressed. I mean, we only have one Earth right now, and Elon Musk is still trying to figure out how we can get all the way to Mars, so we should be conscientious of the planet we're living on and do our best to take care of it. But at the same time, there are millions of people still hurting that feel that maybe we should redirect those funds towards people. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section about these provisions on the child tax credit and money for our Social Security recipients. So the goal is to bring the cost down lower. We started at 3.5, now we're between 1.75 to 1.9. But not everyone is happy about this. On top of this, you've got President Biden, who told House progressives that his proposal for free community college would not be included in the final reconciliation package. So this is going to be a huge hit to those that thought they were going to be getting their college for free. So when it comes to the amount that they want to spend on affordable housing, they did bring that down quite a bit because they had it at $400 billion for affordable housing, but they've dropped that down to $250 billion. Now, all in all, they are edging closer and closer to to finalizing a deal between the moderate Democrats and the progressive Democrats. Because remember, this is not Republican versus Democrat, it's Democrat versus Democrat. So Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said that the Democrats want a deal by the end of this week on the new framework for passing President Joe Biden's economic agenda. Schumer said Senate Democrats had a very spirited discussion about the tax and spending plan, which has divided the progressive Democrats and the moderate Democrats in the Democratic caucus. But Schumer said the pace has picked up. The desire to get this done is universal. So our deadline is October 31st. That's what Chuck Schumer set, and they are inching closer and closer on the deal. And President Biden is playing a huge role in getting things negotiated to make sure that he's trying to unify the Democratic Party in order to get this passed. Now, Chuck Schumer did say that the bill could be written in days. We just have to come to an agreement. If they are able to pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill for $1.2 trillion and the human infrastructure bill, which is what they're calling this reconciliation bill, for $1.9 trillion, then this would be a pretty huge feat that they would be able to accomplish for Biden and his presidency as well as his legacy. But I'm wondering, what do you think? How does this affect you? I mean, it's our taxpayer dollars that is paying for all of this. Are we getting our money's worth from the government, from the officials that run it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section and we can talk about it from there. But please, if you're interested in investing, if you want to grow your wealth, please check out the links down in the description. I have two links to two platforms. One is Webull, the other is Robinhood. And you can use these links to start investing. You can start by getting you 2 free stocks with each platform that is basically free money that gets you started on the path to wealth, because you shouldn't be waiting on the government to build you wealth or to give you money. In a sense, we need to be focused on building our own wealth and having our means take care of ourselves. That is the American way. It is what separates us from everybody else. We have the opportunity to do it here. And if you have any questions, please put those down in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. Let me know which free stocks you get whenever you sign up. But please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all stimulus and economic news that affects you. Learn how to build some wealth and hear the real news. This is Joel with True Life Investing. Until next